Our stars fade, a long lament, but the path of the warrior remains.
Good evening everybody, welcome back to the Battle Bunker. So I had my first tournament this weekend. It was my first tournament of 2026 this weekend. Although I went 1-2, it wasn't the great outcome that I wanted. So this is not going to be a battle report, a three-way battle report. I'll just a brief go through of how each of the games went. So like I say, it was a 1-2. It wasn't the result that, although it was a result I was happy with. Moving over to the Serpents Brood, I was hoping to do better, but it did prove to me that there is play in the detachment. It's just a learning curve, like whenever you go to any new detachment. It's a learning curve to choose what it is that I'm going to do and to get the list right. So the list that I took was the Death Jester, who was my warlord. It's a solitaire. The Troop Master with the Weaver's Wail, that gives me the +1 attack and the +3 strength. He was with a 10 strong troop in a Wave Serpent. A Troop Master with the Key of Ghosts. That one gives me a Scout 6. He was with a 5-man troop in a Star Weaver. And then there was a third Troop Master with the other 5-man troop in the other Star Weaver. 10 Storm Guardians for sticky objectives in the middle, with the 2 fusion guns, the 2 flamers and the 2 power swords. There was a Falcon with a unit of 5 Howling Banshees, 5 Rangers for some infiltrating, 5 Striking Scorpions from some infiltrating and some Scout as well, 2 Sky Weavers with the Haywire Cannons, 2 Void Weavers with the Prismatic Cannons, and a Viper with a Star Cannon. So the first game of the day was against James. James with his Space Wolves, and it was UKTC round 1, which was Terraform. I lost this one 39-98. First time I've ever played against Space Wolves. I wasn't aware of how fast they are. I knew they hit hard when they got to you. Unfortunately for me, James managed to get into my deployment zone turn 1. Many mistakes were made throughout the course of the day, mainly on deployment. So yeah, he managed to get into my deployment zone in turn 1. Basically had me jailed for the majority of the game, whilst he scored just about as well as you can. I only scored 14 points on my primary and 15 points on my secondaries, and I was tabled at the top of turn 4. Many things were learnt, and it's given me cause to think about my list and how I do it and how I'm going to play it. My second game was UKTC round 2, which is Purge the Foe. That was against Alex. I've played Alex before with his Imperial Guard. Always a really good game. Very close game, this one, 88-80. I think the one saving grace was that Alex managed to get his big tank, his big Titan tank, locked up in a corner, jammed up in a corner, so he couldn't get it out to do too much damage. So effectively, I was playing at 500 points under where I should have been. This was a much better showing from the Harlequins. Purge the foe, just got to kill stuff, and make sure you keep killing it whilst standing on objectives. I did manage to go 48 on my primary and 30 on my secondary, which I was quite happy with. Alex went 48 on his primary and 22 on his secondaries. So I know there's play in the detachment. This proved to me there's play in the detachment. But like I said before, I just need to work on how that play looks and how my list looks for going forward for the rest of 10th edition. So my third game was against Oliver. Oliver I've played before. I played him the first game of my first ever Nar Valley tournament, which was only my second tournament. At the time, Oliver was 13. He beat me with his Imperial Guard, and he's did it again today. 14 years old, he did it again today. However, what I'm going to say is, if you ever come up against Oliver, do not underestimate him just because he's 14. This kid is good. He knows his army. He's tactically, he is very, very good. And if memory serves, last year, 2025, he won the Warhammer Schoolboys Championship. So as you can see, the game was hidden supplies. You only score your no man's land objectives. I could not get a foothold. Every time I put my foot on an objective, Oliver went, I don't think so. Again, I put up a good fight. There was definitely fight in the detachment. A troop master and 5 Harlequins disembarking from a transport, so they got the sustained hits 1. They managed to completely destroy a Lehman Russ that was on the top left objective. Unfortunately, they couldn't hold that objective, and as you can see, Oliver gave me a bit of an education in how to play, and it was 23.95 in his favour. He scored 45 on his primary, 40 on his secondary. I only managed 5 points of primary all game. It really was brutal. Again, I was tabled. I'm sure it was the top of turn 5. Turn 4 I was tabled. However, I didn't score anything in turn 3, simply because by the time my turn 3 came along, I think I had a Death Jester, I had a Viper, and I had 1 Troop Master. There wasn't an awful lot I was going to be able to do with any of that. Really well played to you, Oliver, and we'll do it again sometime. So, like I say, I've had a few thoughts. This has got the old grey matter turning over. My mistakes from the day, definitely mistakes in deployment. Things were out in the open. I didn't anticipate the speed at which the Space Wolves moved. You know, so I need to go away and look at that. But also, I need to go away and look at my list. I know I hear a lot of people talk about striking scorpions and their efficiency for screening and things. My striking scorpions did nothing. Probably the way I was using them, probably where I put them, but they did absolutely nothing of any significance, of any consequence, in slowing anybody down. You know, the Howling Banshees in the game against James, when he managed to get, I think it was Ragnar and 20 Space Wolves into my deployment in turn 1, I had no choice but to engage that unit in my mind. I put a 10-man or 12-man Harlequin squad into them, and I put the Howling Banshees in. I fought first with the Howling Banshees. James then interrupted and turned on the troop, but the Howling Banshees just didn't do enough. They just didn't do enough to make a difference in that game. And to be fair, I don't think the Howling Banshees made a huge difference throughout the whole day. So I'm looking to replace both of those units with more Harlequins. The bikes, however, they did perform very, very well in the game against Alex. The 2 bikes and a Voidweaver managed to delete a Basilisk from the game, or from the board turn 1. It was really nice because I picked up Bring It Down turn 1. You know, he'd positioned it where I could get to it easily. You know, and I made that happen. So I am looking forward to running for the rest of 10 with the Serpents Brood. It should be a very interesting learning curve. Need to think about my deployment, and I have made a few changes to the list. As I lock them in, I shall do another video on the new list very soon. But for the time being, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. It's just a short video today about how the weekend went, and I hope that you have some success with your Harlequins. Until we see each other again, may the dice forever roll in your favour. Thank you very much. Goodbye.